Welcome students. So in this lecture we are going to discuss the manufacture of the caustic soda or sodium hydroxide by the Kastner-Kellner process. The Kastner-Kellner process was developed by the Hamilton Kastner and Karl Kellner in 1890s. The apparatus used by the Kastner and Kellner, that is in front of you, it has an outer chamber in which there are two types of the cells. There are two peripheral cells A and B, and there is a central cell which is C. The electrolyte used in the peripheral cell A and B is brine, which is actually the concentrated aqueous solution of the sodium chloride. And in the central cell, there is a dilute aqueous solution of the caustic soda, which is used as an electrolyte. Now, dear students, there is a portion which is shown with the red here, that is actually the mercury, and this mercury acts as a common electrode of the A, B and C cell. When we talk about the cell A and B, this mercury acts as cathode, and there are two graphite anodes which are used in the A and B cell. And when we talk about the central cell, then this mercury is actually anode and a cathode which is made up of iron that is immersed into the electrolyte. Then my dear students, there are outlets for the removal of the chlorine gas and hydrogen gas which are produced as a byproduct during the Kastner-Kellner process. Now this one is the diagram of the apparatus used by Kastner and Kellner. There is a fulcrum and eccentric used at the base of this apparatus, and these are for the rocking purpose. Rocking purpose mean that they will create slight agitation in this electrode of the mercury, and they will also keep the balance of this Kastner-Kellner apparatus. Now let us look into the reactions and how this cell works. My dear students, first of all, we are going to discuss the reactions that will be taking place in these cells A and B. So in these cells A and B, when NaCl solution is used, it has sodium ions and chloride ions. Chloride ions, they move towards the graphite anodes, and after the loss of electron, they produce the chlorine gas. So chloride ions are oxidized to the chlorine gas, and this chlorine gas is then removed through these outlets. My dear students, the sodium ions which are produced in the aqueous solution of the NaCl, these sodium ions move towards the cathode. And what is the cathode? That is the mercury here. So these sodium ions, they move towards the cathode, which is mercury. And after the gain of electrons, they form sodium metal. Now my dear students, you know that metals dissolve in other metals. So that's why this sodium produced, that will be dissolved in mercury and it will form sodium mercury alloy, which is called as the sodium amalgam. Amalgam is basically a term which is used for the alloys of the mercury. So sodium mercury alloy or sodium amalgam is produced in this mercury cathode. Now this sodium amalgam, that because of the rocking or slight agitation in the cell, that sodium amalgam mixture then gets dissolved in the aqueous NaOH, which is the electrolyte in this central cell C. Now what are the reactions that take place in this central cell C? Let us look into this. The sodium mercury alloy, that gets oxidized and produces sodium ions, electrons and mercury. My dear students, this mercury again moves from central cell to this mercury column. And the sodium ions which are produced in this reaction, these sodium ions, they remain in this aqueous solution of the NaOH. At the same time, because the aqueous solution of the NaOH is used in the central cell, so water gets reduced, and after reduction it produces OH negative ion and hydrogen gas, and this hydrogen gas then that is removed through this outlet. Now, my dear students, in the central cell, there are sodium ions and OH negative ions. So, these sodium ions and OH negative ions, they produce the caustic soda. And this caustic soda is basically the main product of the Kastner-Kellner cell. A very important point is there, that is the replacement of electrolytes. Once the process gets completed at one time, then we replace these electrolytes of the NaCl, because the NaCl is used and that requires a replacement with the new aqueous solution of the sodium chloride. And in the central cell, when NaOH is produced, I have told you earlier in my lecture that the dilute aqueous solution of the NaOH is used as electrolyte here. When NaOH is produced, this dilute solution gets concentrated, and once it gets concentrated, the sodium hydroxide produced, that is separated, and again some amount of water is added in this solution to make it again dilute. So the sodium hydroxide which is produced, that is separated, and water is added to make this solution dilute again. My dear students, in this case you can see that when in case of the peripheral cells A and B, the anode is of graphite, and this mercury column that gets relatively negative as compared to the positive graphite anode, so it acts as cathode. But in case of the central cell, the iron cathode is used, which is negatively charged, and as compared to this negative electrode, the mercury column gets the positive charge. So mercury is basically a common electrode between the cell A, B and C, and when the peripheral cells have positive anode, the mercury gets negative and it acts as cathode. When the central cell has negative cathode, this mercury gets positive charge, relatively positive charge, and it acts as anode. And my dear students, this cell A, B and C, they are separated through the slate walls, and these slate walls are immersed in this column of the mercury in such a way that mercury can move from beneath these slate walls. So here is the free movement of the mercury in this complete portion of the mercury column, and the rocking which is produced because of this fulcrum and eccentric, because of this rocking, the sodium amalgam produced here, that gets dissolved in the portion of the central cell. So this was all about the working of the Kastner-Kellner cell.